And that was the Toronto Raptors making history, NBA champs for the first time, 24 years in the making, a golden moment for Toronto and for Canada, of course. And just how fitting, the last basket made by the king of the North himself, that's Kawhi Leonard.
It's real.
And that is how fans reacted. No restraint, all joy. And how can you possibly blame them? This is the National, and we are live in downtown Toronto. This city is in full-on celebration mode right now. Listen to that. The fireworks and flares all night long. The fans in their thousands basking in the glow of the moment. The Raptors beating the Warriors in Game 6, 114-110. The crown is coming to Canada. Again, 24 years in the making. Marc Gasol is also downtown right now, not far from where we are, keeping up, trying, with the Raptors fans as the party goes on and on and on and just snakes its way through the city. So Mac, a huge night, a lot of happy people where you are right now. What are they saying? Can they actually speak?
Yeah, a lot. Well, they do have a lot to say. I don't know if you can see this guy behind me, Khalid. It's his birthday, and I'm thinking you got your birthday wish.
I did. It's the best birthday wish I ever wished for.
What was it like to see the Raptors win the championship tonight?
After 25 years, it's amazing. The city, the whole country, it's not just Toronto, it's the whole country is amazing. I love it.
The game was going back and forth at one point. Did you think they were going to take it in the sixth?
I always believe in the Raptors, and I always were going to do it on Game 6. I'm disappointed we didn't do it in Game 5, but I always knew we were going to do it in Game 6.
And here you are on your birthday celebrating the win.
It's amazing. I can't imagine best birthday gift than this one.
All right, happy birthday.
Thank you.
He's celebrating, so are all these other fans. I want you to take a look at this scene. Look at these people. Everybody is celebrating here in Toronto tonight. Behind them, we've got police officers everywhere kind of controlling the crowd right now. There you go. We've got signs. We the North signs right there. I don't know if you can tell, but they're pretty excited here, Adrian. I'll throw it back to you for now.
All right, Magda, thanks very much. You be careful out there. It is fun, but it's also a little bit crazy. The police are walking a pretty fine line. They're trying to help people celebrate, but also keep them in line. It's not always easy to do. Farah Morali is downtown with fans just situated here, just up the street from Scotiabank Arena. She's at the intersection of York in front, not that far away, but it can feel a world away. What's happening, Farah?
Well, Adrian, I'm just across the street from Union Station, which is one of the main transit hubs in downtown Toronto, and this is a celebration that is taking place right now. When that buzzer went off, this sea of people moved up to the middle of the downtown area, and you can see what's happening here. Just over behind me to my left, there's actually a truck with people dancing on it. They've been lighting fireworks throughout the evening. I saw some people crowd surfing over there. Over to the right, you'll see some people are actually climbing the traffic lights at every corner of this intersection, actually. It's pretty unbelievable. They've been just kind of hanging out there all night. And yeah, that is what's happening here. I'm just going to take a pause and give you a sense of what it sounds like in here right now. This is a celebration outside of Union Station, and let me tell you, we were watching the game at a bar just right next to here, right towards the end of that fourth quarter. And when that buzzer went off, there was so much emotion inside. There were people crying. I tried to talk to some people to get their reaction, and some of them were just frozen. Like, they were just so surprised that this happened. This is a party that's 24 years in the making for so many people here. It doesn't look like they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon, Adrian.
Farrah, I mean, this is amazing. If you could still hear me, what are they climbing on behind you there? All those people just on the other side of the intersection. Is that a bus? What are they climbing on?
It's some kind of truck that's actually made its way into the intersection, and people are kind of clamoring to get a spot on top of it. People have been dancing on top of it. We don't really know how that truck actually ended up in here, but it's been in here for about 15, 20 minutes. People have been spraying champagne from it. It's definitely going to be stuck here for a while because this sea of people has just been sort of static for a little while. But yeah, one of the many crazy things that are happening right now at this intersection here at York and Front in downtown Toronto.
Okay, excellent. Just stay with me, Farrah. We're sort of watching these pictures. People sort of, I think, wisely getting off. I don't want to sound unmotherly here, but wisely getting off that truck. I know this is a difficult spot for police to be in a moment like this because you want to let people celebrate. You don't want to go in there and tell them all to go home. But when stuff like climbing traffic lights starts to happen, they start to worry about people, you know, swinging from electrical cables, which is something that certainly absolutely happened in Vancouver in 1994 after the Stanley Cup loss. They want this to be a night of celebration. Anything else that catches your eye that surprises you? Because I have to say, I know police were ready for there to be a big clog around Jurassic Park. I don't get the impression that they were ready for quite that gathering outside Union Station.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, we didn't even expect to see this ourselves. We were actually heading down to Jurassic Park for the party, and we kind of stumbled upon this. So one thing that strikes me, though, is, you know, the people that have been climbing the poles and stuff, it's all been relatively peaceful. We haven't seen police intervene at all here, nothing violent so far. It really just seems to be a very peaceful celebration so far. People seem to be enjoying themselves in a very safe way so far, albeit perhaps the people on that truck, maybe not so much. But the one thing that struck me so far, Adrian, is we have not seen any major problems erupting in this area, despite just how many people are crowded in the middle of this intersection, which you can clearly see behind me.
Yeah, thanks, Farrah. I think what a nice treat for Raptors fans, too, that the thunder and lightning of earlier this day that nearly forced the celebration inside into Scotiabank Arena just suddenly let up. This is not what was forecast. A clear night is not what was forecast. But the Stars understood that people needed a break. We have been in constant contact with the police, by the way, asking them how it's going. Their assessment so far, they reported to us, is that it is as they expected. Look, this is a huge city of 5 million plus people. Of course, there's going to be trouble at some point. They're ready for that. However, their impression is that by and large at this point, at just after 1 a.m. Local time here in Toronto, people are broadly behaving, and for that, they are quite appreciative. Farrah Morali, thank you very, very much. We're going to throw it to Andrew, who has been paying oh so close attention as he does. Andrew, let us know about these highlights, okay?
Yeah, so I'll get to the highlights in just a moment, but I just think you put it square on, right? The police have a difficult job ahead. As you put it, they're walking this fine line. And so, as you say, the police update that we got recently was that, you know, things were generally going as they expected. They talked about how there were a number of pockets of people celebrating, large groups like the one that you see here, sort of spread out across the downtown core. For the most part, people keeping the peace. But, you know, you brought up the Vancouver riot that happened in 1994. Of course, there was another one in 2011 when the Vancouver Canucks lost in Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. And one of the big lessons from 2011 was about controlling the size of the crowds early. I mean, in 2011, you had a crowd of people about 150,000 strong, and you had 500 officers who were out on the streets trying to control that. By the end of the night, that would double to about 1,000. But the big criticism was that they weren't able to control the size of the crowds early enough. And that ends up being the absolute key when you're talking about that kind of a disparity between the police numbers and the crowd numbers. I mean, how do you control the flow of a group that large? So that's something that we're going to be keeping tabs on, of course, over the course of the next few, well, minutes certainly, but over the next few hours. But again, that most recent update that we got from the police was that things, for the most part, unfolding as they expected. Okay, let's talk about the other bit of news from the night, and that is a city basking in glory. Let's talk about the game itself, right? It was as close as you can get, right down to the very last second. Goes without saying, Oracle Arena was hostile territory for Toronto, and Warriors fans came prepared to see their team survive. The Raptors answer? A really fast start.
Lowry gives it to Pascal, and what a great sign for Pascal Siakam.
Right out of the gate, they develop a 9-point lead, but the Warriors, defending champs, they were not about to back down, and that lead just kept trading back and forth right through the second quarter.
Iguodala, a three, that's good, and a 1-point lead for Golden State.
In the third, as Golden State pulled ahead, a play that seemed like deja vu for Warriors fans.
On the run, Thompson, and Green commits a foul.
Another one of their superstars down. Klay Thompson carried off the floor, out for the game after what looked like a bad knee injury. Then, comes down to the last minutes of the game. The Raptors make their final push.
Van Fleet, what a step back, and he drills a three.
And with just seconds left, it all comes down to one final shot.
114 to 110. Curry lets it fly. Canada, the NBA title is yours.
A victory Canada is not going to forget anytime soon. Now let's take another look at another moment of glory for the King of the North, Kawhi Leonard. He has been a machine this entire playoff series, and tonight he was rewarded in more ways than one. He was named the Finals MVP for the second time in his career.
Your 2019 Bill Russell Finals MVP is Kawhi Leonard.
Congratulations. Kawhi, throughout the course of this series, you touched on the fact that a year ago you were not playing basketball, and you had to make your way to a new city with new teammates, but one thing that never seemed to waver was your poise and your confidence. What gives you that steely resolve?
Oh, man, just life experiences. My teammates, they did a great job of welcome me with open arms.
He's going to be basking in that glory for a while. Now, many Raptors fans have gone above and beyond, like Mark Crabtree, who left his house in Toronto, I understand, at 5 a.m. this morning to travel to Oakland for the big game. That decision clearly paying off big time. Joining us by FaceTime right now. Mark, give me a sense of what you're feeling and what it's like there.
Oh, sorry, it just went away. I'm not. Anyways, can you still see me?
Well, the video's paused, but I can still hear you.
Okay, sorry. I just had touched the phone there. Okay, there we go.
Just
Sorry about that.
walk me through what you're feeling tonight.
We're feeling amazing. The energy in there, it was just incredible. The Raptors fans were so into it. There were thousands of people in there. At the end, it felt like we were at the Scotiabank Arena because there were so many fans who were just, loving it. It was amazing.
But you had to have been intimidated just a little bit. I mean, you're in enemy territory, right?
There were a couple people in behind us, sort of in our ears, kind of chirping and screaming. But I tell you, the Raptors kept silencing them. Fred Van Fleet, Kawhi at the end, like Ibaka, Kyle at the beginning, like they played so well. It was really amazing.
So how exactly does a Raptors fan celebrate in Oakland?
Well, we're going for sushi right now. We're about to get out of the cab, and we're going to drink some sake and eat some sushi. And I've been up now for 20 hours solid, so I'm tired. I'm ready to eat some good food and go to bed.
Okay, well, like I said at the outset, that was a trip well worth making. I'm guessing. Marc Crabtree, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Marc Crabtree, a Toronto Raptors fan in enemy territory in Oakland tonight. Adrian, back to you.
Where are you
Andrew, I have a friend with me here, but I need to clarify something about Anson Henry, who is a CBC sports personality, but also, you know, an Olympian and someone we have counted on for a whole bunch. We are not the same height. I am standing on not one but two boxes. So
I would have been okay with you saying that. It would have been a good look. Yeah,
I know. They wouldn't have believed it. Let's talk about the Raptors. I know you love basketball and you love watching the effect of a good team on a city like this. What's been the effect of the Raptors on this city?
Well, you know, I think that this kind of legitimizes us as from a cultural standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, we're known as a hockey city, and hockey is a very Canadian sport. While, I mean, even though we created basketball, it's a very American sport. We've got one team here in Canada for basketball, for the NBA, so it legitimizes us from a standpoint of that side, and also, I mean, we're revealing another side of the fan base, you know, and revealing the culture of the city, which is cool. And I think that moving forward, the kids coming up are seeing us as a basketball power, a basketball force. So basketball is going to be a big part of their lives, as opposed to some of the kids in my generation, you know, where hockey was like the bigger deal. So I think moving forward, you know, everything's going to be different, and basketball is going to be a staple in a lot of these kids' lives.
So the integration of the Raptors into Toronto, if you're not familiar with this organization, it has wound itself quite tightly into the fabric of Toronto, has it not?
Oh, absolutely. And I think basketball has always been embraced, but once we had an actual team here, I mean, we fully embraced it. So, I mean, I think that all in all, you know, just seeing how the city and the country has become a basketball country, like, we the North it's not a Toronto thing, it's a Canada thing. That separates us from any team in the whole NBA, so it's pretty cool.
And I'm going to be totally rude, but you're going to like this. We're going to throw to Greg Ross, who's at the Oracle Arena. He's got Marc Gasol with them. Can you believe it? Greg?
To this team, you said you just wanted to come and have a chance to play for a championship. You not only played for one, you won one. How are you feeling right now?
I feel awesome. I feel great. Exhausted and drained mentally and physically, but at the same time, you know, besides the smell of champagne and sweat, I feel awesome.
I mean, you guys beat the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it wasn't an easy ride. Just talk about making this run and playing some of the best teams.
They are unbelievable. Like, you know, even without KD, then they lose Clay tonight. You can tell they have a championship mindset and a pedigree, and it's a unique team, like very unique group of guys, and it wasn't, you know, easy at all to get through them.
Kawhi Leonard just walked past us. He was carrying his MVP trophy. He looked pretty happy. We don't see a lot of emotion out of Kawhi, but he's feeling it right now.
He's a very special player. Kawhi is a unique player, and we all, you know, kind of impregnated from him, you know, how to play, you know, with that mindset, and we all, you know, help one another, and you know, as any team sport should be, we grew together, you know, throughout the 26 regular season games and all the playoffs.
All right, one last question here. Let's talk about this. There are thousands and thousands of fans who are closing down the streets of Toronto, downtown Toronto right now.
Be safe.
Well,
please.
let me ask you this. You got to send a shout out to those fans right now. What do you want to say to all those fans celebrating your win?
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You guys deserve this. You guys supported us all along the way. You guys are awesome, and can't wait to see you guys.
All right, that is I was going to say MVP. I mean, you're pretty close. So that's NBA champion Marc Gasol. Thank you so much. What an incredible run by the Raptors. Marc Gasol, so excited. Kawhi Leonard's just over there with his MVP trophy. I doubt we'll get a one-on-one with him, but we'll try.
Well, if anybody can pull that off, it is Greg Ross. Thanks very much. I'm back here with Anson Henry. Marc Gasol was just, being so gracious as he so often is, talking about how wonderful the Golden State Warriors are, how they're worried about Kevin Durant, how great the Toronto fans are. This brotherhood is real in the NBA, is it not?
Well, it must be a huge thrill for him because he was our latest addition, and we had to get rid of Jonas Valanciunas for him to come here, which a lot of people were upset about. Toronto, Canada loved Jonas Valanciunas, me included. And it's just a testament to some of the moves that Masai Ujiri made. A lot of people weren't happy about, getting rid of Jonas, getting rid of DeMar at the beginning of the season. I'm guilty of that myself. I mean, Kawhi's a great player, but I was a huge DeMar fan. I really felt like we could have done it with DeMar. I felt like we gave up on him, but at the end of the day, Masai saw the guarantee of what could be here in Canada, and he had a vision, and he went against some of the doubters. And I mean, I must say that I was wrong about the whole DeMar situation. A lot of people were, and I mean, what he's created here in Canada is crazy, and he must be commended.
When you say what he's created here in Canada, aside from the alchemy of that team, what has he done? I mean, I'm asking this as someone who doesn't study basketball.
Well, the sense of pride from winning an NBA championships is just different from winning a Stanley Cup. And we haven't won a Stanley Cup since the 60s, so we don't have that type of feeling towards, winning in hockey and baseball. I mean, that was huge too, but I mean, now in the social media era, and you've got one team from Canada in the NBA. Back when the Blue Jays won, there was still the Expos, there's still remnants of the Expos, but now, we're the only team, and it's the height of, just all the social media stuff, like I said, and we're a world team now. This is a huge deal, and I think with what he saw, he needed to guarantee us a victory. Bringing Kawhi in, I was questionable about that because he was injured all of last year. And he slowly won me over with some of the, flashes of performance. He was on my fantasy team this year, and he kept on taking all these rest games. I'm missing out on all kinds of points. And coincidentally, DeMar was on my fantasy team last year, giving me a lot of points. So I'm like, what is Masai doing? You know what I'm saying? So brought him in, and slowly as the season went on, won me over, won the fans over, won us a championship. So, I mean, it's all good over here right now.
Thank you so much. It's so interesting listening to you saying, I was wrong, he was right. That's why he's Masai and you're not.
That's why he is, yeah, exactly.
All right, listen, thanks, Anson. Stay with us. We are live all night with a Toronto that is apparently not going to bed, but we're just going to take a quick break. Wow, listen to that. Those are Vancouver fans celebrating alongside the rest of the country. Of course, celebrating the historic win for the Raptors tonight. Farah Morali is downtown with fans. She's just up the street from the Scotiabank Arena and at York and Front, not far from us. How are you hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there all right. We're kind of standing on this concrete block just above street level. And I want you to take a look at the party over my shoulder, Adrian. There are thousands of people that have piled into here. You can catch the champagne that actually just got sprayed onto that sign that you're looking at right now. The party is very much full in swing. If you take a look behind the crowd over there, you'll see some people still hanging out over on the traffic pole lights over there. They've been lighting fireworks. Just a few minutes ago, we had a spontaneous singing of "O Canada" in unison here, which is pretty electric, something that I've really never seen before.
It's so interesting, everybody leaves an event like this and then they gather and then they don't know what to do. And it either goes really well or it doesn't go well at all. So far, so good. Lots of fireworks in the air tonight, lots of firecrackers.
And really interesting people, actually, Adrian. I want to introduce you to a couple that I met just down the street over here. Now, I mean, the reason I want to introduce you to them is they have an interesting story. They were just married 2 weeks ago, and the Raptors were actually part of their wedding vows. I want you two to explain that to me.
Sure. So during Nick's vow, he told me that he loves me more than the last shot that Kawhi shot during the East Conference game.
Against Philly, that shot was a big deal. Probably the highlight of my life until I married her.
So the Raptors and Kawhi were part of your wedding, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. Been waiting a while for this. Kawhi, Danny, they've been a part of this all, but Kawhi, Kyle and Serge and Siakam, they've been this from the beginning.
How are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling after this huge win?
Oh, so many emotions. It's amazing. It's been amazing, unreal, undescribable. We've been waiting for this forever. 24 years. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on the wedding. And there's some more spontaneous chanting, as you can see, Adrian. This party is not ending anytime soon. The crowds continue to gather, and there's some fireworks just going off behind me here, as you can probably hear.
I can indeed, Far. Thank you very much. Congratulations to them. Clearly, this is their honeymoon. Let's now go to somewhere a bit more sedate. Back to the Oracle Arena. Greg Ross, good for him, is back there right at center court with the Superfan. Say hello for me.
Yeah, Nav Bacha, Adrian Arsenal wants to say hello to you. Very excited.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, and congratulations to you also.
Yeah, well, you are somebody that was just so excited after this win. Look at this NBA championship.
Turban ribbon.
Where did you get that turban ribbon?
Somebody made it for me, couple of them, and said when you win it, you got to put that on.
You had to hide those, though, because you didn't want to jinx it.
No. I waited till it was over, and then only I put it on because I cannot wear the cap over my turban. So I had to wear this to show the world that we are the NBA champion. This is going to go all over the world with the Sikh community everywhere who are, and they're going to love it.
I have to tell you, this is a man that can't walk down the streets of Oakland because he is so famous. It was incredible watching fans from both the Golden State Warriors and the Raptors stop you every step you take, it seems. And you love it. You soak it all in.
I love it because that's what I want to do. I want to bring the people together of all colors, faith, and everywhere together through this beautiful game of basketball.
And you've done a fantastic job of that, but let's just talk about this win. Let's talk about what happened on the court. I mean, this was not only an incredible season, but an incredible series, and of course an incredible game for the Raptors to win here against the two-time defending champions.
Yes, and I think 3 out of the 4 times, I think they have 2-time champion, and they're an amazing team. They have a lot of talent in their team, and I believe that we were more hungry than them this time. We were more hungry, and it was not an easy, it could have, if we would have gone into 7, I'm glad that we won today, because if we would have gone back in Toronto, it was again a different series.
Well, let's talk about what's happening back in Toronto right now, because they have shut down streets in downtown Toronto to celebrate. Thousands and thousands of fans. One quick shout out. We don't have a lot of time. What do you want to say to all those thousands of fans who love you that are celebrating right now?
Well, I want to tell them, enjoy it coast to coast. This is not a Toronto Raptors win over Golden State. This was Canada Raptors win over Golden State. Enjoy it, but make sure don't break any rules and regulation. Stay within the law, but enjoy and take in this moment to the best you can, because we are blessed to enjoy this moment.
Well, Adrian, I'll send it back to you, but I'll say he's probably right. There are probably celebrations coast to coast in Canada right now.
Absolutely. Thanks to the both of you. You're both amazing. Greg, I have to say, been watching you this entire series. Nobody hustles like you. We totally appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a good night. His message there, by the way, to enjoy but stay safe. So far, again, we're in constant contact with the police. So far, they say it is as they expected it would be. There are pockets of celebration throughout this city. Look, it's a big city, like 5 million people. There will be some trouble. There often is trouble at night. But by and large, what is happening here in this city right now as people just still a little bit stunned, soaking it in. The subway has been a little bit clogged because people are just trying to get home and keep partying. And I have to say, again, productivity in downtown Toronto tomorrow on Friday is probably not going to be very good. We are live. Please stay with us. We're just going to take a little bit of a break, but we are here in a big night in Toronto. Do not go away.
Welcome back. Celebration still running hot in downtown Toronto. The Toronto Raptors claiming the NBA title, the championship. They've won it all. But right now, I want to take you to Oakland, Oracle Arena. Our Greg Ross standing by with none other than Masai Ujiri.
I gotta go soon.
Executive of the Year here, I guess you could say, Masai Ujiri. Just talk about how exciting this moment is right now for you.
It's awesome. It hasn't sank in. I got champagne all over and screams and everything, but honestly, it hasn't sank in. I can't wait for it to sink in. Just an unbelievable feeling to see that. It's something I watched on TV, from Magic Johnson to Larry Bird to Michael Jordan. You see all the celebrations, and here we are celebrating just like that.
I know you're a humble guy and you won't take a lot of credit, but you deserve all the credit in the world. Think about last summer. Think about where we were last summer. You made a trade that was a very controversial trade. A lot of Raptor fans weren't sure about it at the time. There were players on your team like Kyle Lowry who weren't sure about it all the time. You took a lot of heat, but in the end, this turned out to be one of the greatest trades in the history of this league. And just talk about making that move, taking that gamble, and now how it's paid off.
I feel like it's something anybody else would have done, you know, like I really don't, to me it's about the players, you know, and the coaches, and we can talk about all the moves we make, you know, but at the end of the day, they have to come and play. And for them to put their hearts, minds, bodies into this and play as hard as they can, for the coaches to put their minds, work incredibly well, tough times. You need some luck. And with that, I say Golden State class organization, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, those guys, we needed some luck somewhere, but incredible, you know, like to compete against them.
You are so calm right now. I got one more question because I know you've got to run, but you know that where the talk is going to turn in the coming days. Mm-hmm. That July 1st date is approaching very quickly, and all anybody's going to want to know is if Kawhi Leonard is coming back. Have you had talks with his people? Where do you feel things stand right now in terms of the possibility of him coming back and playing for the Toronto Raptors?
No, we've only talked about champagne in there. That's it.
But you know that's where the talk is turning pretty quickly.
Yeah, who cares? We'll deal with it tomorrow.
All right. Well, there you heard it. Masai Ujiri, and he didn't want to obviously get into Kawhi talk this soon after a championship, but it's no doubt on a lot of people's minds right now, and a lot of people are excited about the possibility of Kawhi Leonard coming back and trying to win more of these championships with the Raptors. Andrew, we'll have to see if they can make that happen.
Yeah, clearly, and kudos to you, Greg. I know it's a tough question to ask in that moment, even tougher question to answer clearly, but as much of a cleanup as there's going to be in Toronto, just to his point, I don't want to be the guy cleaning up at Oracle tonight either. Greg Ross, thanks so much. Okay, speaking of Kawhi Leonard, let's have a listen to what he had to say after the game.
I mean, we all know where my destinations were, but obviously, you know, like I said, when I was there on my opening day meeting, that, you know, I was focused on the now, and, you know, I wanted to make history here. And that's all I did. I just, you know, I'm still playing basketball no matter what jersey I have on. And the guys here been, you know, making runs in the playoffs before I came. So I know they're a talented team, and, you know, I just came in with the right mindset. Let's go out and win ball games. I text Kyle probably a day later or the day that I got traded and told him, let's go out and do something special. I know your best friend left. I know you're mad, but, you know, let's make this thing work out. And we're here today.
Mark here.
You've been through this roller coaster of a couple years, and now you're sitting with the finals trophy, the MVP trophy next to you again. And I'm curious how these couple years have changed you as a man and changed the way you look at faith and kind of your priorities in life.
You know, I just knew that I have to make myself happy and no one else. And I have to trust myself. And it doesn't matter what anybody has to say about me. I know who I am as a person. I know how I feel. And always just trust yourself. And that was my goal and my focus. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, I take on the floor. I don't care about what media has to say about me or if they want me to score whatever, 30 points because I did the game before. I'm going to come out and play the right way. I'm not trying to make headlines.
That was Kawhi Leonard, composed, even-keeled through and through, right to the very end and even after the very end. Now, one guy who knows Kawhi Leonard's composure all too well, Tim Sweeney Jr. He was Kawhi Leonard's coach in high school, basketball coach, joins us now via FaceTime from Temecula, California, which I know is in the southern part of the state, a lot closer to San Diego than it is to Oakland. But I'm betting, Coach Sweeney, that you could hear those Raptors fans cheering on the team at Oregon.
We could barely hear a low rumble from Canada and Toronto. I mean, we're out here in a bedroom community. God, how special it would be to be in downtown Toronto right now. Just amazing, just amazing.
So, Coach, you got to explain for me, as you were watching Kawhi Leonard do his thing on the court, what are your memories of him in high school that connect those dots?
Well, you know, after the game, my wife and I, we just watched the game together, just did it quietly. I a little superstitious, so I didn't want to break it. I said Game 6, and I watched the series from home, just concentrating. And what we talked about is how the team mimicked a lot of the team that Kawhi played on for, 2 years with a lot of the same guys on the teamwork, the defense, the chemistry. Nobody thought we had superstars, and it was like, definitely on another level, but, very, very, very similar styles, and what a great job Nick Nurse did. And I'd like to give a shout out to Jeremy Castleberry, their assistant coach. He was also a player on my team with Kawhi Leonard. I mean, and nobody talked about that.
And Coach, I've heard people talk about Kawhi Leonard like he's a cyborg from the future, right? I mean, just composed through and through. Was he like that all the way back in high school too?
Absolutely, all the time. It was mind-boggling why he didn't come out to be one of the top 5 players in the nation. He did it in his junior year. He did it in his senior year. He's just a freak in every aspect of the game. He sees the game different from everybody else. He works harder than everybody else. I couldn't be a prouder coach. I mean, how many coaches could say they possibly coached the best player in the world and maybe one of the greatest players to ever play the game?
Well, Coach Sweeney, you've got to be an awfully proud guy at the moment. If you could say one thing directly to Kawhi, what would you say?
I just say keep up the hard work. You're a young man. What we taught you at King, you've continued to take on with your work ethic and concentrating on fundamentals. Those are the most important things in the game. And for him to just stay hungry. I'm proud of you, Kawhi. I love you. And, hopefully next year you can do it again. And hopefully it's in Toronto. And, next year I'll be there to watch him do it in Toronto.
Well, I don't think that hunger is going anywhere. That's to be sure. Tim Sweeney Jr., Coach Sweeney, Kawhi Leonard's former high school coach. Thanks so much for joining us. All right. So as we go to break, I think we've got some pictures to show you the scene in downtown Toronto, Jurassic Park. The celebration's starting to tone down ever so slightly, but police, of course, ever vigilant to make sure that things stay on the rails in this celebration. The CN Tower lit up in the bright sky. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the other side.
And welcome back, and have a look at the CN Tower. Why, might you ask, is it all gold? Well, that is the color, of course, of the Larry O'Brien Championship, NBA Championship trophy. And can you see there, we the North? Of course we are. Thank you, CN Tower, for that. It is just about 10 minutes to 2 a.m. here in Toronto. The city is starting to clean out just this edge of Jurassic Park. I nearly called it Raptors Park. But that's only because people are moving towards the center of the city. Again, police so far are saying they're relatively happy with the way people are responding. It is a huge city. There will be some trouble, but so far it is as they expected it to be. So we turn now to Ioana Roumeliotis, who is perched right above the center of the action in downtown Toronto. It's a pretty relatively unique view of what's happening. Ioana?
Adrian, the scene, as you can see from this patio, gives you the perspective of how many people have flooded Yonge and Dundas Square. Look at that. The entire square is full and going all the way up several blocks and north of here. You can't see, but those roads have been all shut down. Police shut them down literally minutes after the game was over. This is where Torontonians go to gather for huge, epic events. The expectation is up to 1 million people have shown up here tonight, and it's all about, and it's been all about, a shared experience. Everybody wants to be with people to watch the game and now to celebrate this huge win. So as you can see, the crowds are thick. There are people hanging from scaffolding. Some dangerous, risky behavior to be sure, and the police are hanging back for the most part. They're keeping a watchful gaze, but from a distance. They want people to let off the steam and to celebrate. They'll move in, they say, only if they have to. But they do say it's a long night ahead. This party will be lasting well into the morning. Adrian?
All right, that is Ioana Roumeliotis. We're going to head back to you, Andrew. We've been seeing such fantastic stuff from Greg Ross throughout this entire series. Apparently, he's done it again.
Yeah, you could say that again. So Greg, he found his way into the Raptors locker room, and surprise, surprise, it was a little bit messy, a little bit crazy, a lot of fun.
You think they use a lot of champagne in these celebrations? Take a look at this floor. Go, follow me. Serge.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like a champ, baby. I'm a champ now, man.
That was incredible. I mean, you guys did it.
I feel like a champ. That's how it's supposed to be.
All right. There are thousands of people celebrating right now on the streets of Toronto. What do you want to say to those people?
I just want to say, for everybody who support us during this season, for all the fans from Toronto, everywhere in Canada, this is for you, and you deserve it. Yes. Let's go!
So much going on, family, media, but I'm really gonna enjoy this one. This one's a special one for sure.
Just talk about the fans in Toronto. I mean, they've been showing up by.
Man, they've been great, man. They've been amazing, and we know we did this not just for us, but for the 36 million that are they're watching us back home.
There are thousands and thousands of people that have shut down the streets of downtown Toronto right now celebrating your victory. What do you want to say to those fans?
We can't wait to get home. We're going to celebrate with them.
Well, the Raptors earned that celebration, and Greg Ross earning his paycheck tonight. Okay, we're going to take you to break, but first, let's show you the scene outside Union Station. This is the major transportation hub in downtown Toronto. Fans very happy, very excited. Party just getting started. We're back in a moment.
We did this off of love. We willed this into existence. We manifested this. I told you the first time, people like to make memes, make another meme out of this. It's beautiful. Look at my brothers up there celebrating it. It is what it is. You see what my hat says. Not finals, not Eastern Conference, not nice try, or see you next year. Champions. Let's go. Real talk.
Oh, you know Drake was all in tonight. And tonight, this is the only moment there could be.
Curry lets it fly. Canada, the NBA title is yours.
Your 2019 Bill Russell Finals MVP is Kawhi Leonard.
So you know why Toronto loves the number 6. Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup in 67 in 6 games. The Blue Jays won the World Series in 6 games. The Raptors now winning the NBA championships in 6 games. So much to celebrate and so much more to come. There will be a parade starting to look like it will be Monday.
Yeah, and I'll just add the latest update from police is that things are relatively peaceful right now as they expected. Crowds are starting to dissipate. But boy, I guarantee there is some kid out there who's thinking, this is the night I kicked my dream into overdrive. Good night.